I'm Huon Hooke, and this is The Real Review. So the wine we're tasting today is Evans & Tate Redbrook Estate Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot 2017, and it comes from Margaret River. Evans & Tate was one of the first wave of vineyards in Margaret River. It goes back to 1974 when two people, both called John Evans and John Tate, established the vineyard, first established it, and its name right from the beginning was called the Redbrook Estate or the Redbrook Vineyard. It's been shoved from pillar to post a little bit. It's been owned by different people, but in the last few years it's part of Peter Fogarty's Fogarty Wine Group. Peter Fogarty is a Perth-based wine industry entrepreneur, I think would be the best way to describe him. He has done extremely well in the wine business, not just in Western Australia, but that's his sort of stronghold. But he also owns Lakes Folly. So his first winery was Millbrook, which is in the Perth Hills, probably the least known winery that he has. Then he got Lakes Folly in the Hunter Valley. Then he got Deep Woods Estate in Margaret River, and Evans & Tate also in Margaret River. Evans & Tate, though, has always produced good wine, I think, especially Cabernet, and I think they're probably back to the top of their game at the moment. They're doing really, really well, especially with Cabernet, but they make great Chardonnay as well. So the interesting thing here, I think, is that the next wave of Peter's family are involved, and he's got a son called John. No relation to the man from Creedence Clearwater Revival, I believe, but John Fogarty is the vineyard guy, and the winemaker is Paul Dargue. Dargue or Dargue, I'm not sure how he pronounces that. When I see the Cabernet Merlot beside a Cabernet Sauvignon, I always assume the Cabernet Merlot will be a slightly lighter, softer wine made for earlier drinking. That's normally the way it is with Australian wineries, but don't always assume that, because sometimes they can be pretty full-bodied as well. Let's have a look at this one. Good deep colour, lovely tint in the colour, good tinge of purple there. And wow, that nose takes me straight to Margaret River. It's got a touch of that lovely peaty, almost iodine character that they get in Margaret River. A complex wine. It's got the cassis, the blackberry, the cedar, the black currants, but it's got this little patina, is a word I like to use, like the bluish tinge on a copper sculpture. It's or a statue. That little patina of, you could call it seaweed or nori, like in Japanese nori rolls. Something that they get in Margaret River that distinguishes Cabernet from that region. Beautiful nose. Let's have a taste. Ah, yes. Gosh. So succulent, so easy to enjoy that wine. Lovely depth of berry fruit flavour. Tannins are soft, there's plenty of tannin there. It is Cabernet driven after all, and Cabernet is one of the most tannic varieties. The Merlot tends to soften it a little bit, but the wine has a real backbone to it, but it's got lovely succulent sweet fruit in the middle palate, and it's utterly delicious. So how do we rate this wine, this Evans & Tate Redbrook Cabernet Merlot? We rated it 96 points out of 100, which is pretty strong praise. And that wine, that earned it a top rank score, or top rank placing. It's number 2 out of 36 Cabernet blends from Margaret River from that vintage we tasted. So number 2 out of 36, it's pretty high praise from a region which produces some very smart Cabernet blends, and also much more expensive Cabernet blends than this wine, which is $40. We also suggest you can drink it now until 2040, but I suggest good Margaret River Cabernet Merlot will last for 30, 40 years, no problem. So what would you serve with a wine like this? And we do ask the winemakers for their recommendations on their own wines. Paul Dargue, I think that's how he pronounces it. I'm sorry, Paul, if that's a mispronunciation. He has suggested a rosemary-infused lamb shank casserole with soft polenta. So something that is long, slow cooked and melt in mouth. The meat just falls off the bone, and that goes beautifully with polenta, soft polenta. Can't imagine anything better. That would be wonderful. So enjoy it.